One exercise I've really gravitated towards with clients is the step up, as well as some of its variations. There's a lot of good research on it showing high levels of glute max and glute medium G activity, and I just find, compared to stuff like clamshells and hip abduction, which I still use in certain situations, I find one, this one's easier for a lot of people to do. Most people have a bottom stair they can work off of. And two, it just is easier to see the carryover towards certain tasks. You also get quad stimulation, you get loaded knee flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, and so on. Now, the big thing I find with step-ups and with lateral step-ups and variations is that you have to be very attentive to detail with how you do it and how you coach it. So some examples that I see are people go up and then they just go down without a lot of control. What I get people to do with regular step-ups, lateral step-ups, and Peterson step-ups, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, is to get people to go down nice and slow. You shouldn't really hear, if your client is wearing a shoe, you shouldn't really hear their foot hit the ground. Now, another consideration to have is, and this is more of an issue for clients that are really deconditioned and or if the step is too high, is when you see people pushing off the other leg to get up. That can also be just due to some fear avoidance behaviors, can be due to bad habits. I find in those cases having a lower step, or even, I've even used it, had people use a textbook and make sure it's up against the wall so it's not going to slip on them. That's another option you can use. If you find that they're just not getting it, more from a quad training standpoint, less from a rehab standpoint, then you can use stuff like split squats, lunges, those kind of things. The lateral step up, the way that I do it is standing beside, so if you're doing this at home, you can use a step or you can use a bottom stair. You can use a low plyo box if it's stable. I'm not necessarily a fan of doing it on the narrow ones because of lack of balance. Step up like so, and then down nice and soft. Now, one disclaimer to have, I have size 14, 15 shoes, which most clients don't have. You probably don't need to take as wide of a step on and off the step as what I do, because your feet don't have to move as far to clear it, and it's going to feel awkward. Another big tip I have with this exercise is to have a target to aim at. That way it keeps your body nice and square and you're not tipsying from side to side. And then the Peterson step up is a harder version of the lateral step up. So where you're standing on a step, you go down nice and soft, and then you come back up. Another one I like too, if you're working with a client, meniscus issue, knee OA later on, they're having a difficulty doing stairs as a step down. Now, with this entire family of exercises, using a railing, having it nearby for support is not a bad thing, especially if it's a newer client, deconditioned, older client, or a client with balance issues. So any and all of these can be done with a railing nearby. For the step down, what you do, you go down nice and soft, and then you push back up. So that's a nice variation to use for people that are trying to work on their ability to do stairs. Again, if the regular exercise step is too sensitive, you can take a riser or two out, bring it down in height, or even use a textbook, again, against the wall so it's not going to slip. So that's all you need to know about step-ups in a rehab context. They can be useful exercises as well from a quad and strength training perspective if they're done correctly. Give them a shot.